The red dust of 442B covered everything. Lisa Harrison wiped sweat from her forehead as she looked out at the settlement from the command center. 3 years they had been here. 3 years of building, fighting, surviving. The colony was small but strong. 17 buildings stood against the harsh world, and the fences held back the creatures that wanted to kill them. Tommy was playing near the water station. Lisa could see her son through the window, running between the supply crates with other children. There was only one other child in the colony now. Most families had left when the first ships came to evacuate. But Lisa had chosen to stay, and Tommy came with her. This world was hard, but it was theirs now. Doctor rushed into the command center. His face was pale. He carried a data pad and moved fast, his eyes wide. "Commander, you need to see this," said. His voice shook a little. Lisa turned away from the window, was the chief scientist. He studied the world and its creatures. Nothing usually scared him. "What is it?" Lisa asked. The sensors picked up something. "Large movement, multiple contacts, coming from the eastern ridge," said. Lisa took the data pad. The screen showed heat signatures, big ones, very big ones. She had seen heat signatures like this before. These were the apex predators of this world, the creatures that killed everything they touched. The colony had learned about in the first year. They were massive, maybe 4 meters tall. Their skin was dark and rough. They had teeth like broken metal and eyes that glowed green in the dark. The first time anyone from the colony saw one, it killed 3 people in seconds. After that, everyone stayed behind the fences. "How many?" Lisa asked. 7 confirmed, maybe more we cannot detect, answered. "They are moving toward the perimeter." Lisa stood up quickly. She pressed a button on her console. "Security team to the command center, now." Officer Dan Cooper arrived in less than a minute. He was young but smart. His hand rested on his weapon, a pulse rifle they had brought from Earth. The colony did not have many weapons, but they had enough to fight. "We have approaching from the east," Lisa told him. "Full alert status." "How close?" Cooper asked. "About 2 kilometers. Moving slow," said, watching his screen. Lisa went to the window again. She could not see the creatures yet. The ridge was too far away, but she felt it in her chest. Something was wrong. They never came this close unless they were hunting. "Get everyone inside the main buildings. Keep children in the shelter. Full lockdown," Lisa commanded. Cooper nodded and left to give orders. Within minutes, people began moving through the settlement. The routine was familiar. Everyone knew what to do when we're near. Tommy appeared in the doorway of the command center. His face was excited, not scared. He was too young to understand fear the way adults did. "Mom, there are big creatures coming," he asked. Lisa walked to her son and put her hand on his shoulder. "Yes, baby, we are going to the shelter now. Come with me." She led Tommy down the corridor. The emergency lights were already on, painting everything orange and red. They went to the underground shelter where the other children waited with a caretaker named Susan. Lisa kissed Tommy's head. "Stay here with Susan. Do not leave this room. Do you understand?" Lisa said. "But I want to see them," Tommy complained. "I know, but you stay here and keep everyone safe by being brave and quiet," Lisa said. She left before Tommy could argue more. Back in the command center was talking fast. His fingers moved across the data pad. "They stopped," said. 1 kilometer from the fence. They are just standing there." Lisa looked at the sensor display. The heat signatures were not moving. They were just sitting on the ground, stationary. "Are they hunting something?" Cooper asked. He stood near the weapons terminal with his team, 5 people total, 5 rifles and whatever else they had. "No," said, shaking his head slowly. "There is nothing between us and them, no prey animals in the area. They are just waiting." "Waiting for what?" Lisa asked. Did not answer. Nobody knew. Minutes passed. They did not move. They did not attack. They did not make noise. They just sat there beyond the fence under the red sky of 442B. Lisa walked to the window and stared out. She could see the fence line. The metal was strong and designed to keep everything out. But these creatures were big enough to break through if they wanted to. The fence would not stop them. "Commander, something is happening," called out. Lisa turned. On the screen, one of them stood up. It was massive, taller than the others. Its skin shimmered in the heat of the day. It walked toward the fence, each step heavy and sure. Everyone in the command center stopped breathing. The creature reached the fence. It pressed its hand against the metal. It was just standing there, touching the fence like it was trying to feel something. Then it turned and looked directly at the command center. It looked directly at Lisa through the window. She felt her heart stop. They held her eyes for a long time. Lisa did not move. She did not blink. The creature's green eyes were bright and deep. There was something in those eyes that did not fit with what Lisa knew about these creatures, something she could not name. Then they turned away. All 7 creatures turned and walked back toward the ridge. They did not run, they did not attack, they simply left. "What just happened?" Cooper whispered. Lisa did not answer. She did not know. She had no words for what she had just seen. Checked his data pad. They are moving away, heading back to the ridge, heat signatures fatting. "Send a message to the Galactic Council," Lisa said quietly. "Tell them we need to talk." 2 hours later, the response came. Not a conversation, a command. Lisa read it standing in the command center while Cooper watched. 7 days, that was all Lisa had. 7 days to pack 3 years of life into 2 transport ships. 7 days to tell people to leave their homes. 7 days to watch civilization collapse. But something else happened in those 7 days. Something nobody expected. Doctor stopped sleeping. He sat in the monitoring station watching they did not attack. They did not hunt. They did not do anything except watch the colony from a distance. "This does not match any predator behavior I know," told Lisa on day 3. He looked tired. His eyes were red from staring at screens. "Apex hunters do not show patience. They do not observe prey without attacking." Lisa was packing equipment from her office. She did not want to listen to right now. She wanted to work, to stay busy, to not think about leaving. "They will attack when we leave the settlement," Lisa said. "Or when we get on the ships. We need to focus on evacuation." "No," said standing up. "No, Commander. I have been tracking all attack patterns for 3 years, every encounter, every death. I know how they hunt. This is not hunting." Lisa put down a box. "Then what is it?" "I do not know yet, but I need 1 more day to figure it out," said. Lisa gave him 2 days. She could not give him more than that. The ships were coming on day 7, and everything had to be ready. On day 4, something changed. The security monitors showed something Lisa had never seen before. A group of creatures appeared on the western side of the settlement. They were not. These creatures were smaller, faster, with metal-sharp claws and teeth like knives. They called them Razorbacks. They were the second most dangerous predators on 442B. The Razorbacks were moving toward the colony. "Red alert," Lisa ordered. "All personnel to stations." Officer Cooper took his team to the defensive positions. These creatures moved fast. If they got close to the fence, they could climb it. Everyone knew this. But they moved faster. From beyond the ridge, the 7 creatures came running. Not walking, not stalking. Running. They hit the Razorback pack like a storm. The collision happened just outside the fence, maybe 100 meters away. Lisa watched from the command center window. It was like watching gods fight. They were huge and strong. The Razorbacks were fast and mean, blood mixed with the red dust. Bodies fell. Sounds came that Lisa had never heard before, sounds like metal tearing and wind howling. It lasted maybe 5 minutes. Then it was over. The Razorbacks that were still alive ran away, fleeing into the distant wastes. They did not come back. They stood in the dust, breathing heavy. One of them had a bad wound on its side, deep and bleeding. But the other 6 formed a protective circle around the injured one. They did not leave it behind. They stayed with it. Then they all walked back toward the ridge. Slow, careful, protecting their injured friend. "They were protecting us," said. His voice was soft, almost a whisper. Lisa did not respond. She could not respond. What she had just seen did not make sense. Predators did not protect settlements. Predators did not fight other predators to keep humans safe. That was not how the world worked. But it had just happened. On day 5 came to Lisa with data. He had printed it on real paper, old-style Earth paper. His hands shook as he handed it to her. "Look," he said. The paper showed graphs and charts, attack records, death records, everything the colony had documented about dangerous creatures in the last 3 years. Before they came, we had deaths from Razorbacks every month. Some months twice a month. Before that, there were storms. Creatures came through the perimeter. People died, explained. But since they showed up 7 days ago, there have been no deaths, no attacks on the colony. They have been killing everything that would kill us. Lisa stared at the paper. She read the numbers over and over. They were clear. The colony had never been safer, not in 3 years. They are eliminating competition, Lisa said, trying to find a logical answer. They do not want other predators hunting in their territory. Maybe, said, or maybe they are doing something else. What? Lisa asked. I do not know, but I want to know before we leave, said. Day 6 arrived. The transport ships were scheduled to land tomorrow. Everyone was packed. Goodbyes were being said to the settlement. Lisa could feel the mood of the colony changing. People were nervous and sad. Some were relieved to leave. Some were scared of what came next. But that night, something unexpected happened. The alarm went off, not a red alert. A different alarm, the perimeter alarm, that had touched the fence again. Lisa went to the command center, was already there. Cooper had weapons ready, but Lisa put up her hand. Hold position, she ordered. Do not fire unless I say. On the monitors, Lisa could see the injured. It was pressing against the fence. It was still bleeding. It needed help. They saved us, said quietly. Now they need us. Lisa looked at the screen. The wounded creature looked so big, so powerful, but also so hurt. It had fought to protect the colony. Now it was standing at the fence, asking for something Lisa did not have permission to give. Officer Cooper spoke carefully. Commander, if we help that creature, the Council will call it a violation of protocol. We could lose everything. Lisa knew he was right, but she also knew something else. Something that had changed inside her in the last 7 days. 3 years ago, she had come to this world because it was duty. Now she was about to leave this world because it was orders. But somewhere between duty and orders, something real had grown. They had shown her something humans needed to see. They had shown that understanding could come before violence, that protection could come before fear. Lisa made a decision that would change everything. Get medical supplies, she told. Get protection equipment. We are going to help that creature. Cooper said nothing, but Lisa could see it in his face. He understood what she was doing. He understood the suit was made to protect against the environment of 442B. It was tough and sealed. But Lisa felt very small inside it as she walked toward the fence gate with and 2 medical assistants. The waited beyond the barrier. Its green eyes watched them come closer. Officer Cooper spoke through the communication radio. Commander, all other are holding position 200 meters away. They are not approaching, but they are watching everything. Understood, Lisa said. The gate opened. The wind of 442B pushed dust against her suit. The creature in front of her was massive. Even wounded and sitting, it was twice her height. Its breathing was heavy. The wound on its side was bad. Lisa could see the flesh underneath the dark skin, red and raw. Moved forward first. He had worked with dangerous animals before back on Earth. He moved slow and careful. He made soft sounds with his mouth, not words, just sounds, calming sounds. It turned its head and looked at directly. The creature made a sound back, low and deep like thunder moving through stone. It understands, whispered. Lisa opened the medical kit. Her hands were steady, but her heart was racing. One wrong move and the creature could kill all of them, but instead of attacking, the extended its arm toward them. The wound was even worse up close. Infection was starting. Lisa moved fast and careful. She cleaned the wound with antiseptic. The creature made sounds but did not pull away. It just watched her work with those green eyes that seemed to see right through her suit, right through her, to something deeper inside. The medical assistants worked with her. They covered the wound with advanced bandages. They injected medicine to fight infection. They used everything they had learned about trauma care. It took 2 hours. When they finished, they stood up slowly. It looked down at Lisa. For a moment, nobody moved, nobody breathed. Then the creature made a long, low sound. It was not a threat. It sounded like something else, like thanks, like acknowledgement. They turned and walked away. The other 6 creatures came to it, moving their hands over the bandage, making soft sounds. They were talking. Lisa realized they were talking to each other about what had happened. Back inside the settlement, Lisa removed her suit. Everyone was staring at her. Some faces showed anger, some showed fear, some showed hope. You just violated direct orders from the Galactic Council, said Colonel Hayes, the ranking military officer sent to oversee evacuation. That creature could kill every person here. That creature just saved every person here, Lisa said, multiple times. She called everyone to the central hall. The entire colony gathered. Lisa stood in front of them and told the truth. about the Razorback attack that they had stopped, about the pattern of protection, about what she knew in her bones was true, they were not the enemy. The Council thinks these creatures are monsters, Lisa said. But I have seen them sacrifice for us. I have seen them choose to protect instead of kill. I have seen something in their eyes that looks like hope. We have orders to evacuate, Colonel Hayes said. We do not have the authority to stay. I do, Lisa said. She looked directly at Hayes. I am the colony commander. This is my settlement, and I am choosing to stay. The hall went quiet. Everyone looked at Lisa. Everyone understood what she was saying. She was choosing the over the council. She was choosing to believe in something new. Anyone who wants to leave will have the transport ships. Tomorrow, that is still happening, but I am staying. And anyone who wants to stay with me is welcome, Lisa said. The next hours were chaos. Some people wanted to leave immediately. Some wanted to stay. Arguments happened. Tears were shed. Lives changed direction. In the end, 23 people chose to stay, 23 out of 61. Most of the families left. But the ones who stayed, they had seen something in Lisa's eyes. They had heard something in her words. They believed in what she believed in. Tommy found Lisa in her office. He was crying. I do not want to leave, he said. Lisa held her son. I know, baby, I am not going to make you leave. But Mommy said I had to be strong. She said strong people make hard choices. I want to be strong like you, Tommy said. Lisa held him closer. She was making the hardest choice of her life, and her son was making it with her. That night, Lisa sat with and Cooper. They were in the command center, watching the stars through the window. Tomorrow, the transport ships would come. Tomorrow, most of the colony would leave. And tomorrow, Lisa would send a message to the Galactic Council. I am recommending we make a formal alliance with the, said, holding a data pad with his findings. I have documented the creature's behavior extensively. They show intelligence, problem-solving ability, and what I can only call altruism. They are not mindless predators. They are conscious beings. The Council will not believe us, Cooper said. They have decided they are a threat. They do not change their mind. Then they are wrong, Lisa said simply, and we have to show them they are wrong. She began writing the message. It was long and detailed. It included everything had documented. It included her observations. It included the simple truth that humans and could coexist, and that the Council had been deceived about what this world really was. When she finished, Lisa read it to the remaining colonists. Some nodded, some looked uncertain, but nobody left. The military ships came on day 22. Lisa watched them enter the atmosphere from the command center. They moved like predators, swift and certain and without mercy. 3 battle cruisers and 2 destroyers, enough firepower to destroy the entire colony in minutes. Communication from the lead ship, said, his fingers moving across the console. They want immediate surrender of the settlement and all coordinates. They are giving us 1 hour. Lisa stood up straight. She had known this was coming. The Galactic Council did not negotiate. The Council gave commands and expected obedience. When obedience did not come, the Council brought weapons. How are they positioned? Lisa asked Cooper. The Elder has moved 1,200 into the mountain territories. They have taken positions in the high ground. They understand what is coming, Cooper said. He had spent the last week learning to communicate with the alien creatures. Now he was doing it better than anyone. But they are waiting for your command. They will fight or they will leave. Your choice. Lisa looked at the screen showing the military ships descending. She thought about Tommy. He was with Susan in the shelter, where children were supposed to be safe. She thought about the Elder who had shown her visions using sounds and gestures, teaching her about a world that had existed before humans came to 442B. She thought about the choice she had made to stay. Send a response, Lisa said. Tell them we will not surrender. Tell them this colony is now independent. Tell them they are not animals to be destroyed. They are people, and we will defend them. The military ships landed on the far side of the colony, beyond the perimeter. Troops came out in full combat gear. Thousands of soldiers, more firepower than the colony had ever seen. But they did not attack the settlement immediately. They attacked the outer territories. They attacked where they had established secondary settlements. The first explosion lit up the sky, then another, and another. The military was destroying everything, burning the landscape, killing in large numbers. They are using the settlement to keep us in place while they eliminate them from a distance, said, understanding the strategy. If we try to help, they will destroy the colony. If we stay, they die. Lisa felt cold rage move through her. The council was using children as shields, using the settlement as a hostage to keep the humans from defending their allies. But Lisa had learned something from in the past weeks. She had learned that direct force was not always the answer. She had learned to think in different ways. "Get me the technical team," she ordered. "I need to know everything about those ships, power systems, communication, weapons targeting, everything." The technical team was small, only 5 people, but they were good. Over the next hours, they worked with Lisa and Cooper to study the military vessels. They found vulnerabilities, not in the weapon systems, vulnerabilities in the supplies. "The large ships need constant resupply," said the chief engineer. "They have to get materials from the orbit station or from cargo pods. If we can disable the cargo delivery system, they will run out of ammunition and power within days." "Can you do that?" Lisa asked. "I can disable their receivers, make it impossible for them to connect with incoming supply ships. But I need access to their external systems," said. Lisa turned to Cooper. "What about the—" Cooper understood immediately. "The Elder says they can do it. They are fast climbers. They can move along the ship hulls without being detected. They have a warrior skill set we never considered. They are assassins when they need to be, precise and quiet." The plan came together over the next 2 days. They would move at night and plant disabling devices on each military ship. Small sabotage devices that had designed. Nothing that would cause explosions or massive damage. Just enough to break the connection between the ships and the cargo delivery system. It worked. On the 3rd day, the military ships tried to receive resupply. The cargo pods arrived, but they could not dock. The ships tried to receive communication about supply status, but the signal was blocked. One by one, the military systems began to fail. The military commander sent a message demanding that Lisa restore the systems or face total destruction. Lisa did not respond. Instead, she coordinated with the Elder. While the military ships were confused by their technical failures, they moved. They came out of the mountains with intelligence and strategy that surprised everyone. They did not attack the colony. They did not try to destroy the military forces directly. Instead, they controlled the terrain. They cut off supply routes. They made it impossible for the military troops to move through the landscape without heavy casualties. They used their knowledge of 442B like a weapon, making the planet itself fight against the invaders. The military ships tried to provide air support, but without their supply systems, they could not maintain combat operations. They tried to bring in reinforcements, but they had learned to predict where transports would land and prepared defense positions. It was not a battle. It was a slow defeat. The military realized that winning would cost them more soldiers and more equipment than the Galactic Council was willing to accept. And with supplies running low, they would have to abandon the campaign or face having their ship stranded on an alien world with no way to escape. On day 37, the military commander requested negotiation. Lisa met with him through communication systems, face-to-face on screens. He was old with scars from many battles. He looked tired and defeated. "Your species fights in ways we did not expect," he said. "My species learns," Lisa replied. "We adapt, we cooperate with our allies, and we are willing to die for what we believe in." "The Council will not accept this," the commander said. "They will send larger forces." "Then we will face larger forces," Lisa said. "But I do not think they will, because now the galactic community knows the truth. They know they are intelligent, they know humans and can work together, and they know that the Council lied." The commander said nothing for a long time. Then he gave orders to his forces. The military ships prepared for departure. The troops began withdrawal. Within 2 days, they were gone. The settlement was battered but still standing. The territories were damaged but alive. And Lisa realized something as she watched the military ships rise into the sky and disappear into space. They had won, not through strength, through intelligence and cooperation and the refusal to give up. But as the ships disappeared, Cooper approached Lisa with a serious expression. 6 months had passed. Lisa stood on the ridge and looked down at what the colony had become. It was no longer just human anymore. The settlement had expanded. New structures had been built. Some were built by humans using technology. Some were made by using materials from the land itself. They stood side by side, different architectures, creating something that was neither purely human nor purely. It was something new. Tommy ran past her, chasing a young across the red dust. The young creature was maybe half Tommy's age, but already twice his size. But it moved careful around the boy, understanding that Tommy was small and fragile. They played like children everywhere play, without the baggage of fear that their species carried. "Beautiful, is it not?" said, appearing beside Lisa with his data pad. He had grown thin from overwork, but his eyes were bright. He had been writing everything down, documenting the integration of the species. His report would change science forever. "It is," Lisa agreed. "I have been analyzing the behavioral patterns," continued. "They are actually changing. They are becoming less aggressive in their hunting patterns, the young ones especially. They are learning from human presence that there are alternatives to pure predatory instinct." "They are learning what we are learning," Lisa said. "That cooperation works better than killing." Officer Cooper approached, leading a training session with mixed human and fighters. The military organization was different now. Humans provided strategy and technology, provided physical prowess and instinctual understanding of terrain. Together, they made something more effective than either species alone. "Commander, the new schedule is ready," Cooper said. "Tomorrow we begin construction on the secondary settlement to the north. The families want to move there when the weather cycle changes. We have the resources to support it." Lisa nodded. This was becoming routine now. Planning settlements together, sharing resources together, building a future together. Messages arrived from other worlds. Scientists wanted to know more about the integration. Some said it was dangerous and reckless, but others asked if it was possible. If humans and could coexist, what other impossible things could be achieved? Universities wanted copies of research. Military academies wanted to study the defense tactics. Governments wanted to send observers to document what was happening on 442b. The Galactic Council had gone silent. No more threats. No more orders. It was like they were pretending the colony did not exist. Some people said the council was waiting for the colony to fail, waiting for everything to collapse so they could say they had been right all along. But the colony did not collapse. It grew stronger. 3 months into the new settlement period, something unexpected happened. A young approached Lisa while she was working on equipment maintenance. The creature made soft sounds and made gestures. It took 20 minutes to understand what the creature wanted. "It is asking permission," said, surprised. "It wants to bring its mate and offspring to the settlement. It is asking you specifically, as if it recognizes your authority." Lisa looked at the young. She remembered the first time she had met the elder, the visions the elder had shared, the promise the elder had made that there could be something different. "Yes," Lisa said simply. "Tell it yes. All who want to join us are welcome." Within weeks, more arrived, not from hunger or desperation. They came because they wanted to. They came because this place was different. This place was possibility. Tommy came to Lisa one evening and took her hand. He led her to a place overlooking the settlement. The sun was setting, painting the sky with colors Lisa had never seen on Earth. "Look," Tommy said, pointing. A human child sat with a young, teaching it about stars. The young creature was making sounds, and the human child was laughing. They were building something together with their hands, a structure made of sticks and stones and mud. It was not beautiful by any traditional measure, but it represented something. It represented the future. "They do not know to be afraid," Tommy said. "The kid and my friend do not know they are supposed to be enemies." Lisa felt tears in her eyes. Her son was right. This generation, both human and was growing up without the prejudices that older generations carried. They were becoming something the galaxy had never seen before. That night, Lisa sat in her office and wrote a report to the Galactic Council. It was different from previous messages. It was not a defense or a justification. It was simply the truth, written clearly. She wrote about the integration, about humans and working together to build settlements, about defense tactics that combine the strengths of both species, about young creatures of both kinds playing together without fear, about a new civilization growing on 442b. She wrote about how nature itself had changed on this world. They had broken their own evolutionary patterns. They had learned that there were ways to exist beyond predator and prey. Humans had learned that strength did not always come through weapons and military force. And she concluded with this thought: "The Galactic Council taught me that nature has rules. Predators hunt prey, species compete. Conflict is inevitable, but on 442b we have discovered that nature's rules are not fixed. They are guidelines that can be rewritten when beings choose understanding over fear. The Inhumans did not break nature's rules. We showed that nature was capable of writing new ones when given the chance. And in that writing, we found not just survival, but purpose. Not just peace, but hope. Lisa sent the message, and then joined and Cooper on the ridge where Tommy and the young were still playing. The creature made a low, rumbling sound that might have been laughter. The three adults stood in silence, watching the children build something from nothing in the red dust of an alien world. Behind them, the settlement glowed with lights. Humans and moving through the night together, building homes, sharing knowledge, creating a new kind of civilization. Lisa thought about the elder who had died to make this possible. She thought about the council that had wanted to destroy everything they now cherished. She thought about her own fear, overcome by a choice to believe in something better. The sun rose on 442b, painting the sky in shades of red and gold. And on that distant world, at the edge of the known galaxy, something revolutionary was happening. Two species, different in every way that mattered, had chosen to build a future together. Nature had broken its own rules, but in breaking them, it had discovered something far more powerful than any rule. It had discovered that when beings truly chose cooperation, when they saw each other not as predator and prey but as potential partners, everything became possible. They stood beside the humans, and in that standing together, in that simple choice to be near one another without fear, the future was born. Lisa placed her hand on Tommy's shoulder and watched as her son and the young continued building. They were creating something their parents' generation could barely imagine. A world where nature itself bent to the will of consciousness and choice. And for the first time since arriving on 442b, Lisa believed that this world had always been meant to be home. Not just for humans, but for both, together, in a future that only hope could build. "The elder is dead," he said quietly. "He was hit during the final coordinated defense. He stayed to make sure his warriors could escape. He sacrificed himself for the colony and the settlement." Lisa felt something break inside her chest. The elder had become her teacher and her friend. He had shown her how to believe in a future that others thought was impossible. She went to the mountains where they were gathering. They stood in silence around the body of their leader. When Lisa approached, they moved aside to let her through. Lisa stood over the elder and placed her hand on his rough skin. She made the low sound that meant respect and loss. She made the sounds they had taught her. And she promised that his sacrifice would not be forgotten, that his vision of two species living together would become reality. They made their sounds of mourning, and in that moment, human and alien grief became the same thing. Grief for a life given so that others could live. At dawn, the transport ships arrived. The people who were leaving said their goodbyes. They carried their possessions. They walked across the red dust to the landing pad. The ships took off into the pink sky of 442b and disappeared. Lisa watched them go with no regrets. Then she turned to face what came next. She did not know what would happen. She did not know if the council would send weapons or understanding. She did not know if choosing hope was the right decision. But she knew one thing. She had made a choice that could not be unmade. And standing beside her, ready to face whatever came next, were humans and together. Two species, one home, one future. He line she was crossing. "This is mutiny," he said quietly. "No," Lisa said, "this is hope." The colony had 1 week to evacuate. No exceptions. The Galactic Council had classified the as a level 5 extinction threat. Any human settlement near this species was considered a suicide mission. All personnel would be removed. The colony would be abandoned. Lisa held the data pad and felt something heavy settle in her chest. 3 years of work, 3 years of building a home, gone in 1 week. Outside, the red dust fell, and somewhere beyond the fence in the darkness of 442b, they waited in the shadows.